here in upstate New York, it can get pretty chilly throughout the winter with freezing temperatures for most of it and snow on the ground for much as well. It can be pretty challenging to keep any animals in this weather, especially outside. With chickens, we've learned some tips and tricks to keep their run and their coop environment as pleasurable as possible in these cold conditions. Just wanted to share some tips and tricks that we've developed and adapted along the way to make their lives easier and for them to stay productive throughout the winter as well. Let's get into it. The first one is a year-round thing, but for us, we have a fully covered chicken run with a solid roof on it. This makes sure that the chickens stay nice and dry, and it gives them a dry environment throughout the winter to stay in. Because chickens themselves, they have a lot of feathers, just kind of like a down coat, which keeps them nice and warm. The only difficulties are if they get wet or there's a lot of wind flow. So having that roof on, make sure that they are not completely covered in snow throughout the entire winter to keep them nice and dry. And now the second thing that we've done to keep the wind flow from being that great is we completely wrap the run in these tarps. And I got these tarps off of Amazon. You can buy them in any size that you need. So we got nice, big, large ones to wrap completely around the run. And it's this clear material that lets in sunlight, which is vital to help keep the girls warm, kind of like a greenhouse effect, as well as get them the vitamin D and other nutrients that they need, as well as just the sunlight to keep them regulated as well. And we've attached it really easily with these ball bungees right here. You can also get those off of Amazon, but it's super easy to attach to put the tarps up, as well as take them down whenever you don't need them. And what this does is it allows all the wind flow to be blocked and all the snow from the side blowing snow to be blocked as well, keeping them nice and dry and keeping no snow on them and no wind blowing up them to chill them out as well. Another thing that we've done is, as Quinn just stepped in, we've provided a water bowl. So normally we have this nipple waterer, which we don't have a heat source to it. So it freezes in the winter. So what I do instead is just have this rubber bowl, and I bring out water for them every morning. Now the reason I use a rubber bowl is twofold. One, if it ever does freeze, it's very easy to break up. If it was in a plastic bowl or a metal bowl like that, it's harder to break it up. The rubber bowl, you can bend it in half, break up all the ice, slam it on the ground. You're not going to hurt it, not going to dent it or anything like that. So that's pretty nice. And the second thing is it makes it super easy to clean as well. You can spray it out, take it inside, wash it out however you need to. Super easy, quick, and as well the rubber itself doesn't freeze. Now I will say a tip that I've learned is if it's going to be very cold at night, which most nights in the winter it is to go ahead and dump any remaining water out before you go to bed. That'll ensure that through the night it doesn't completely freeze and you do not have a solid block of ice to break up in the morning. Instead, you just have to fill up the fresh water. Makes it a lot easier. As I mentioned earlier, we don't have a heated water. However, that is another option you could do if you so choose. If you have a heat source, you can run an extension cord out, or if you have electric in your coop, you could just simply, you can either buy a water heater to go into an existing water like this, or you can buy a plug-in heated pet bowl, or even they even make heated chicken waterers as well. A couple different options to make sure that your hens have water throughout the winter, which is vitally important for any animal, but especially them, as if they're still producing eggs, much of the egg is water, so it's vitally important that they get plenty of water to keep producing those yummy eggs for you and to stay healthy themselves. Another thing you want to do is make sure that you have a high quality food. So these girls have access to their food from their feeder right here, all times of the day. High quality food to keep them nice and warm. You could even up the protein if you so choose. If you have girls going through molts or something like that, they make higher protein foods to support those changes in their body and make sure that they get all the nutrients they need. But protein is vitally important to keeping the girls warm throughout the winter. So I like to also provide a flock block like that one right there. It's a huge block that they've eaten down, but it has a bunch of corn and grain and things like that in it. It keeps them nice and warm. Another thing you can do is making some oatmeal. The oats really help keep warm them up, as well as provide a warm snack as well, to go into their bodies. Another thing I like to do is buy frozen bags of vegetables. You can get them organic, non-organic, whatever your preference is, but they're generally cheap. They're around like $1 a bag, come in a bunch of different varieties. You can get peas, you can get corn, you can get mixed vegetables, anything that you'd like to feed your chickens. You microwave them for a couple minutes, bring them out. It's a hot steaming bag of vegetables that they love to eat. I usually give it to them in the morning. They eat it up, go crazy, gives them fresh vegetables throughout the winter as well, which is vitally important for them, especially when they're not free ranging and getting all the greens and grubs and things out from the yard. And lastly, as another high protein source that I like to give is a black soldier fly larva. So what I do is I bring a bag of it out and I just sprinkle it around for them. And they go crazy, as you can see. They love to eat it, and it's a nice source of protein to keep their bodies warm, as well as black soldier fly larva has a good source of calcium. So for any of those girls still laying, gives them nice hard eggshells as well. Now, when it comes to chicken keeping in the winter, there's two camps of chicken tenders that you'll fall into. It'll be the people that think that chickens need heat in their coops, and the people that think that they do not. We here fall into the group of people that don't think they need it for a variety of reasons, but the biggest thing is just for animal safety. We don't want anything to happen or burn down for these girls, as well as, if the power ever did go out, then they won't be adjusted to the cold weather. It's much better for them to be adjusted to the environment that they're living in the entire time. There's multiple reasons, but it's for a different video. But I just wanted to say that if you're not heating your coop, a couple things that you're going to want to make sure that your girls have is, first, plenty of ventilation. So we have ventilation here up top of the door, as well as a large window on the side. You can see it better from the inside. What this does is it makes sure that there's not moisture buildup, because at night the girls will be breathing a lot, and if you have a really tight airspace, especially in the winter, produces condensation from all the chicken breath, and that condensation leads to moisture, and it can build up, and it can cause frostbite on the girls if it has nowhere to escape to. So you want to make sure that there's plenty of ventilation. You don't want a cross breeze to blow through and chill them out, but you want plenty of place for the condensation and the breath to escape, so there is no moisture buildup, to keep them nice and cool, as well as you want to make sure that there is plenty of roost bar space for them to snuggle up next to each other and use all of their own body heat to keep themselves warm. And this will just make sure that your chickens stay nice and warm throughout the winter. And if you're lucky, and like I said, all these tips have been helpful for us, and if you're lucky, follow them, and you may just get eggs throughout the winter as well. So those are all of our tips and tricks for cold weather chicken keeping. If you have any of your own, please drop them below. Give us a comment, give us a like, let us know what you thought. And until next time, stay perfect.